It's never gonna change. I'm gonna beat that to death.
I didn't say that.
Midlife
I guess that's it. I'm trying to. What a shit show we've had to get this together. Not gonna lie. Shut up. I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong, and I think that what I did was, well, I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong. I have an issue with Twitch. Twitch doesn't like me saying serial killer in the so it's not allowing me to let it
Spell it
play.
like cornflakes.
So
Spell it like cornflakes. Cereal.
Cereal.
Like
Yeah.
cornflakes.
It's the fucking cat. All right, so greetings, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Radio Gunk. And what we are doing tonight, Xavier and I, we are going to talk about Clay the serial killer, which I think is fascinating. It's a fascinating and interesting subject. And oh, yes, you're right. I should spell it like cereal. I'm getting like a little thing. Twitch says the title is invalid. Try changing it a bit. Okay, yes. I'm going to do that. So, okay, hang on. Clay and the serial killer. Okay, let's see if that works. It changes. This broadcast must be scheduled in the future and within 1 year. Please edit the start time. Oh my God, I'm ready to kill myself. I don't even know what to do with this. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know what to do.
Just put Clay the killer.
Oh my God, as if that would help, sweetheart. I'm trying to go live. Okay, let's see if that helps. Twitch says the title is invalid. View on Twitch. All right, I'm going to do that. Just hang on 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, I know. I don't. You know what? I'm sorry, Twitch users. I'm not really necessarily sure how to do this. I'm not really big on the Twitch thing, as you know, and I don't know how to. I don't know how to make that work. So, I guess you guys are stuck with me on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what to say. All right, that's it. That's what we're doing. So, welcome, Xavier, to our show.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Okay. So, somebody had posted about Clay the serial killer this week. And I love serial killers. I love everything about them. And I became completely fascinated with it. So, yeah, we'll do it live on fucking YouTube. Fuck it. This is where they allow serial killers. God damn it. This is where I have it. We'll do it live. Exactly.
Do it live.
So
damn thing sucks.
You know, you must all know. Okay, Bon Jovial, can you go on the Twitch channel and figure this shit out for us if you're here? Can you do that? Do you even have my password for Twitch? I think you do. If you can go figure that out, I would love you forever. All right, so greetings. And so somebody made a thread about Clay the serial killer on our website at radiogunk.com, and I became immediately obsessed with it. Originally, I was going to do an interview with the dude from Electric Eel, but bizarrely enough, he says, yeah, that sounds great. I'll definitely do it with you. And then when I called him and texted him like several thousand times and asked him to come on, he's like, oh, I just landed in Hawaii. Sorry, just got this message now. After talking to him like 20 times yesterday, where he said, yes, absolutely, I'll be on. Absolutely, we'll definitely do this, whatever.
It happens.
It happens. Shit happens. So yeah, sorry I'm not on Twitch. I don't know how to do that. Maybe we'll just put it up there as a show at some point in the near future. I don't know. So anyway, so the reason I had texted Electric Eel is because the original person, or the person that people had linked to on our site, was the comment section said, oh, this is definitely Electric Eel. This is definitely like not a real call and whatever. And I was like, no way, I 1000%, please move the camera slightly downward. Fuck you. And I 1000%, I 1000%.
Eyes are up here, gentlemen. Eyes up here.
Eyes up here, gentlemen. And so, and so,
they're talking to you. Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, they're not talking to you in your lollipop, you little weirdo. So, so a lot of people are saying, oh, that's definitely like a electric wheel, definitely a setup and whatever. But you know what? No, my friends, I 1000% think this is an absolute truism. And Xavier and I were talking about it today, and am I sputtering a little bit? I feel like I am. Just so you guys know, I had just that one time. Yeah, I know. I had a horrific thunderstorm come through with 70-mile-per-hour winds, and hail the size of like nickels. And most people on my lake have lost power, and I thank God I have a fucking generator, and it's the only reason I'm able to do the show tonight. And even then, obviously we started a little late because I couldn't get my shit together and my Wi-Fi wasn't working. So there's that. Yes, Xavier is in fact an expert on serial killers. So there's that. So yes, that's why he's on this with me, because we were both fascinated. We were both fascinated with the subject. And he thought of something when he listened to the Clay Howard Stern thing, which we're all going to listen to in a moment. He heard something which I thought was really spectacular to find on this recording. And can we articulate the origins for this show a little bit more? I don't know what you're saying there. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry.
The origins of the show? Well, back in 1997, August the 13th, no, November? August or November, I forgot. Well, in 1997, a person called in saying that they murder prostitutes and didn't know why. Howard picked up put him on air, and they went on to have a 17-minute discussion as to why he does it. And what makes this interesting is you got to have context for this phone call. Back in the day, this is when late 90s, when Sal, the stockbroker, would call in and prank phone call the show. And he, around this time, did a phone call where he had a female friend of his call into the show and pretend that she was a girl that was being molested by her dad and needed help. They put her on the air. Everybody bought into it. And then, of course, the punchline was horseshoe jackass, as it was back in the day. So when Howard put this guy on the air, and truth be told, this is still very ambiguous. We don't know, in fact, if it was some guy just trying to pull Howard's leg, but just getting the general vibe around the internet in the time that this has been brought up, you kind of get a sense that this wasn't a bit, which is kind of, we've all grown accustomed to everything's fake, but this one seemed real. Howard kind of had a little bit. He sounded nervous more than anything.
I think so
else.
too. And it's one of those interviews where if you thought it was a joke, then he would have made like a little bit more reference to, silliness and joking around. And when I did speak to Electric Eel Dude, he said, I don't know, it doesn't sound familiar. I should hear it though, just to be sure. But I'm 1,000% positive it wasn't him. Time out. Bon Jovial, just so you know, I just sent you a PM on Radio Gunk with Twitch information. So if you can grab that, that would be awesome. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just in the last 24 hours, some of Mr. Whisker's sources have pretty much confirmed that this wasn't fake. That this was, at the very best, it was just a weird fan that called in and made up a story. But the internet, the sleuths that have looked into this, I mean, the timing corresponds to one of two serial killers in New Orleans at the time, so that matches up. The type of victims that he chose and the number matched up. So there's definitely checked a lot of boxes. If someone was making this up, they did their due diligence and through maybe news articles or whatever, and they had their ducks in a row with some of the stuff that this guy talked about. And so here we are.
Well, but you didn't tell him about the text I had gotten today about what happened in the aftermath of this. But yeah, you know what? Let's start it and let's hear a little bit of it and see what's going on. I am not slapping around my Aussie manservant, you dick. All right, so here we go. This is Clay the serial killer from, what is it, 1997?
I believe so.
All right, here we go.
Claims he's been killing prostitutes and he's wondering why he's doing it. So maybe he thinks I have an answer. Is this Ed? Ed?
No, this isn't Ed.
Oh.
You haven't killed any prostitutes?
No, I never said my name was Ed.
Oh.
Do you think Ed was his real name, Xavier?
You know what? I believe that's the name he gave the screener. I don't think he would have been foolish enough to give up his actual name.
Yeah.
It's like, so yeah, he doesn't sound like a dumb guy. He sounds like, he's
very articulate, but most sociopaths are, aren't they?
Well, in this case, they are.
Yeah. All right, let's listen.
Sorry.
That's okay.
What name do you use?
You can call me Clay.
Clay?
Clay?
Yes, Clay. Okay, Clay. So what happened? How many prostitutes have you killed?
12.
And you're wondering why you do it?
I have a pretty good idea.
Why? Did your mom beat you? Did your mom spank you?
Was your mom a prostitute?
No. Actually, nothing like that.
What is it then?
I think I just do it for the sense of the power.
All right.
Of course, don't they all? Isn't that really?
Some of these, I mean, just based on all the serial killer stuff that's out there seems to be a commonality that these guys either have low self-esteem, and this is kind of the great equalizer in being able to literally play God with someone's life. So yeah, I'm sure it's one hell of a sense of power to do what these guys do.
Fuck. All right, let's listen on.
Do you have sex with them first?
Yes, and
And then what, you strangle them?
once.
How else did you kill them?
Well, a few times, actually, most times with a hammer.
And where do you do this primarily?
I've done it twice in a parking garage, and then the rest of the times on the side of the road.
And you're from the...
It's so curious how he, and this is another thing we're going to bring up later on in the podcast, but it's always so curious to me that this guy talked like very matter-of-factly, very straightforward. He's not laughing. He's not anything. Yeah, go ahead, baby.
You would think he was giving an open box review on a drone. His whole mannerisms, and it's interesting because he,
like one of those Chinese ladies who like unpacks things with her hands. Oh,
exactly. Well, not even that; those people show more emotions. And I noticed that, like he said, how do you do it? Do you strangle someone? Now, that is of the two serial killers that were known in the New Orleans area at the time. Strangulation was pretty much the way that they were killed. And I know that kind of a lot of the Reddit people and whatnot, other forums say, well, it couldn't have been this guy because on air he's talking about using a hammer, but he doesn't say that he didn't. Howard obviously says, do you strangle them? He goes, well, sometimes. So that kind of doesn't negate what some people are saying that would exclude him from being this guy. So, and also, there were 12 known victims, but known. I mean, you never know. You never know. No.
I'm just looking at who percentage John Hine. John Hine has the exact same cadence to his voice. Completely unemotional.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's like, I hit these prostitutes out of the park last night. Yes.
No, Clay doesn't say he's married when you listen to it, actually, which
He
we
says-
both have several times. So no, you'll listen. All right,
He's got baby mamas.
He's got baby mamas, right? He's not married. Here we go.
New Orleans area?
Yes.
Hmm.
And how? I mean, what do you beat them to death with a hammer?
Man.
It usually only takes once, and
Dude, you got to have a lot of anger in you.
yeah.
Man.
Well, why do you need to feel so powerful?
He's got some issue with women, but like some shrink's got to look into it. It's not even worth. I mean, you might as well just kill yourself if you killed 15 people. And that means you're heartless. Did you used to kill small animals?
No, I've killed a rat.
Yeah. See, a lot of guys start out killing kittens for some reason.
Yeah, they kill something before they start with humans.
If my kid like killed a kitten or something cute, I'd probably just, figure, well, this is it. They're going to be serial killers.
Kill them.
Dude, you're a serial killer.
Yeah.
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 Wow. And you get away with it, I guess, because they're hookers, and so far nobody's... What?
All right, this is key now because Xavier happened to notice this on his first listen through. And I think, thank you so much, Trinity Jean. That's awesome. I missed the first few minutes. What year was this call from, please? What was it, Xavier? It was 97. Right, it was in late 97 at some point. Okay. So
Well,
this tell them. Go ahead.
Okay. If you notice, the guy's been pretty on point when he says, "Is this Howard?" There's
No.
like
We're right at that point. Yeah, we're right at that point.
No. But I want you to notice that there's a pause. In fact, Howard actually thinks the phone call dropped. But if you listen to the audio in that pregnant pause that happens, you can clearly hear this guy doing something to himself, and it's almost like he just hit euphoria when he finds out that he's actually speaking to Howard.
Yeah, so listen really, really closely right now when he says, "Is this Howard?" Bon Jovial, check your DMs. When he says, "Is this Howard?" Listen how weird this is, and then we'll talk it through on the other side of this. Okay. I can't even put it louder, but listen really, really closely after he says, "Is this Howard?" And then Howard confirms that it's him.
Is this Howard?
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
I didn't know this was Howard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Howard.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? Like right
the dude
there.
busted a nut. He literally busted a nut. Now, serial killers, for the most part, like he said, he wants a sense of power. The fact that this in his head worked out for him, and all of a sudden he actually managed to get Howard on the line, like to actually talk to him, seemed like that whatever that mechanism of power that he'll reference later on, like it did it for him, and you can literally hear him ejaculate.
Oh,
for lack
so
of
fucking gross. It's
for
so
lack
gross.
of a better way of putting it. This podcast probably won't do it justice. I highly recommend if anybody's morbidly curious, go back and listen to this on YouTube over a pair of headphones, and you'll clearly hear what just happened. So
It's
moving
so
forward.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting. But that was, I think some of that was him getting the gratification of knowing, oh my God, I actually have Howard on the phone. So I'm just going to rewind it just a snurch so people, just in case they would have missed it, and then we'll continue on.
Yeah, go for it.
They'd probably just, figure, well, this is it. They're going to be serial killers.
Kill them.
Dude, you're a serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And you get away with it, I guess, because they're hookers, and so far nobody's... What?
Is this Howard?
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
I didn't know this was Howard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Howard.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so creepy.
No, I've never killed a kitten.
Really?
Never killed any small animal except a rat?
Yeah, rat's okay.
Well,
Rats, I don't mind you killing.
But how'd you kill him?
the rat.
Yeah.
Stepped on his head, I bet.
We had a big flood a couple of years ago, and it's not actually a rat. It's called a nutria rat. And I clubbed it to death. It got in the kitchen at my work.
Ah.
So how old were you when you killed your first woman?
16.
16.
And you must be a powerful kind of guy, big guy.
I wasn't then.
Right. And when you killed your first one, did you go in there knowing you were going to kill her, or it just sort of happened?
I knew I really had it planned out. You know, I wanted to do the whole sending clues.
Right.
Oh yeah, are you in?
To baffle people, but it turned out no one noticed for a long time.
Right. Like you killed her on the side of the road?
Her, that was the parking garage.
Okay. And then what'd you do with the body? You dumped that somewhere?
Yeah, actually, I think she's probably one of the ones that they found.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, so you were sending clues that you were going to do this?
No, I was.
He was going to
doing that.
He was going to leave like a note for the newspapers, and you know.
But you decided not.
So, Xavier, my expert on serial killers,
That's me.
is it common for serial killers to leave clues? I know we had this discussion this morning.
Not necessarily. You have like the egomaniacs, like the BTK killer, and there's others like Richard Ramirez, Zodiac killer. Those guys wanted to be the smartest guy in the room when it came to themselves and the cops. They taunted the cops. They wanted to look how smart I am, which in most cases ended up being their demise. But you have other serial killers who are literally like unknown, or like you've had examples of like serial killers that literally have turned themselves in because they were so prolific at hiding their tracks, and they literally got bored and like just turned themselves in. I mean, it's super rare that happens, but it does happen.
I was going to say, name one. I mean, I've never heard of that happening.
You can Google it. You can Google it. There's this one cat who, I don't know his name off the top of my head, who would literally find his victims, bury a murder kit, you know, like duct tape and all the stuff that he would need in their backyard or nearby, and then come back a year later to kill them. So it's like, and that guy, literally the only reason they caught him is like he was so good that he finally said, fuck it, you know, I don't care. I'm just going to go tell him I did it. So, yeah, we tend to think that some of these serial killers are like super intelligent, like Hannibal Lecter types, but they run the gamut. Yeah, some of them are really clever and intelligent. Some of them, they're just kind of, you know.
But don't they think that they're smartest guy in the room, though? Even if they're not, don't they think it?
Some do, I'm sure. But
yeah, we had this conversation before as well. Why Dad 68 says, but most take trophies like rings or panties.
Just like Ted Bundy did that.
What was it you were telling me about some creepy guy today? Who was that?
Which one?
Was it Bundy with the heads? What was that?
Ted Bundy would take the head sometimes and bury them or put them out in the woods where he could come back and literally pleasure himself to that head, you know, sometimes months later. But like when he was caught, one of the clues is that he had a box of driver's license of some of the victims that he disposed. So yeah, it is common for them to take trophies. But I think one of the biggest traps that you can set for yourself is you think you know what these guys are going to do, but they're fucking deranged. You know, yeah, some of them will follow a pattern, but at this point, there's enough serial killer information on the internet where anybody who would want to do that can almost draw up a recipe book as what to do and what not to do. So who knows?
What David Diego is saying here is he covers the phone. He thinks that he's talking to somebody in the room with him. Do you think that? I didn't really catch that. That he was talking to somebody else.
We don't know. I mean, we're just speculating, obviously.
Yeah, we don't know anything.
Later on in the interview, he'll say something. He will be asked about what he does with the victims, and whether, you know, what he does, and he'll confess to pleasuring himself to he'll say that he'll talk about not having sex with some of them, but pleasuring himself as a spank bank. You know,
all right, let's listen on, my dear ex, shall we?
Yeah.
He didn't want to be famous or draw attention to himself. But my problem is...
No, that's what I wanted to do. But
but you did, but no one noticed the clues.
I never sent the clues. I never left anything. I wanted to have my own little signature.
Right.
I wanted to thumb paint
with
your thumbs.
Oh, really?
What do you want to do?
Thumb paint with their thumbs.
Thumb paint what, though?
I don't know.
Oh, anything. It was in a comic book a couple of years ago. Just seemed like a good idea.
Anybody have any idea what comic book he's referencing in this? If so, let us know in the comments because we have no idea. You, babe? What?
No idea. I'm guessing it wasn't Howard the Duck, but yeah.
Take the girl you killed, you dip her thumbs in paint, and then you do like a thumb painting?
Yes.
On a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Now, after you kill somebody, do you play with the body?
Actually, the closest I've ever done to that is I always make sure I pay them and I make sure they keep their money.
All right, this is like a really key part coming up because this actually ties in with like a specific clue that he gives out, I guess, that I guess was not known to the general public at the time. Xavier, Linda Ayers is saying, so what are you saying? You think he killed somebody and was pleasuring himself and calling Howard at the same time? No, what was happening is that Howard is somebody that he looked up to and respected, kind of like a weird, let's go with Mark David Chapman, John Lennon kind of thing, where he's on the phone with somebody that this is the first time he's telling another human being that he's killed people, right? So
like
he's getting off on the fact that he's on the phone telling somebody that he has killed all of these people. Not that he was actually with somebody killing them, jerking off, and talking to Howard all at the same time. Everybody keeps asking what year this is. This is 1997. So
August 13th, I think. Try looking up August 13th, 1997, see if that hits.
White at 68 says they used to have magazines and comic books with bondage scenes. Yeah, I guess that would make sense then. Ida, oh my God, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you, Ida. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate that. There's supposedly dozens of serial killers on the loose. Yeah, we were looking that up today just for shits and giggles to see how many are still outstanding. There are approximately 240,000 outstanding murders in the country currently. And of that, a good strong percentage of them, they believe, are serial killers. All right, so let's continue with Clay.
Oh, really?
When they're still alive, but with one of them, I did put the money in a compromising place.
You know what he's saying?
But this one, it had a penis.
Oh, really?
It had a penis. Like Dennis says.
I didn't know at first.
So do you ever do you think the reason you're so angry is because you were abused or something?
No, I wasn't abused, Howard.
Where's your family?
You got a wife?
I mean, you got a mom, a dad, a wife, children. You got any of that?
I've got a couple of kids, but
no wife.
Not married to the mother.
Your wife.
See, baby mama, which is what and you never really know whether or not that's the truth or not. I mean, the true sign of a sociopath is the fact that they can lie as easily as they tell the truth, right? I think that's the right. That's the main thing with them. That their lies sound like truth and their truth sound like, and I bet you half of them, 90% of them can pass a lie detector test without any inflection or issues whatsoever.
That's why they're not admissible in court, because there are people who absolutely can just straight out tell a whopper without even flinching.
Really? All right, hold on a second. Bon Jovial is trying to just bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get this whole thing done here for us. So at least you people who listen on Twitch can listen as well. So bear with me because, of course, now I don't see it. So hang on. Hang on, my lovers. I can't, walk and chew gum at the same time. You all know that. Just bear with me. Okay, I'm done. I swear to you, if this doesn't work, then I'm fucking done with the Twitch thing. So, okay, let's continue.
Okay.
Yeah, Howard, that's pretty funny because the only suspect they had when they started finding the bodies was a black police officer.
Oh.
So let's talk about that for a really quick second, right? Wasn't that like another issue that was a, I'm just going to go really quickly to one of the articles that talks about the, a killer that they did actually catch. Should I start that now or should we kind of wait on that? I'm not sure. How do we want to work that?
No, whatever.
Okay, let's see. So there was a guy whose name was Ellwood, I think is the last name. Apparently at the same time that this guy was killing women and he was only accused of one. They could only
they
get
were
him.
only able to prove one
Yeah,
of
they
the
only get
murders.
right.
But they suspect there was many, many more.
Right. So what was revealed later on is authorities said former New Orleans police officer Victor Gant, who was initially labeled as a suspect in the killings, remains under suspicion in two of these killings. So he's actually right about a black guy being accused of being a killer of these women. All right, so let's continue.
Turns out one of them was associated with them.
Oh, really?
Are you on drugs?
I've done acid a few times.
So,
but nothing heavy.
So after you killed the first 60-year-old, like you finished. No,
I was 16.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
She was.
All right. So you finished with your sexual gratification, and then you.
Not always. No.
Not always. You don't even want to get laid sometimes.
No,
You just want to kill.
I'm just bored.
Right.
But does the killing sexually satisfy you in some way?
I can't believe Ed McMahon's not laughing.
I've eaten off thinking about it later.
Yeah.
What do you say?
That's about it.
He's pleasured himself thinking about it later.
Oh, he has.
Ew.
Okay. Now, how far apart are these murders? Like, do you murder and then, like, you feel satisfied for a while?
I don't even understand why I do it, Howard. I don't know if I ever get any satisfaction.
But how often?
Together anywhere was the same night.
Okay, that's another clue, right, Xavier?
Yeah. He is
Because apparently one of the killings that they were looking into in New Orleans, both of them were done in a 24-hour time period. So, yeah, that was like another clue to this. Are you paying attention to the show, sir?
Yes.
Sir Xavier.
Yes. No. Here's the thing.
You killed two people in the same night?
Yeah, but
are you talking?
for the second one.
No, it's all good.
What? Go ahead.
No, this is like New Orleans in the late 90s, man. I mean, anybody who went to New Orleans in the late 90s, I know I did. If you left the French Quarter, you were probably going to die. So
pre-Hurricane Katrina, everybody who would kill you died.
New Orleans in the 90s, the cops were corrupt. There was killers. There was gangs. It was not a shithole. It was not the friendliest place to be at. So when you say two people were killed within 24 hours,
it's just Saturday.
I'm sure, yeah, that was like just a regular weekend. That's like we just finished watching the Saints play. Let's go celebrate.
Exactly.
So there's no pattern to how many weeks or days between murders?
No.
Are these mostly white chicks or black chicks?
A fair number of them have been black. The transvestite was black.
You think there's some racial motivation here?
No, Howard. They were just, let's just say, a Jimmy Swaggart town.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Swaggart town.
Don't know what that means.
Me neither, but...
That's pretty much the area around here where the prostitutes all hang out.
I see.
And it's just whoever comes up to you. You don't pick a certain type?
I don't even approach them. I wait for them to approach me, Robin.
So do you ever like them asking for it?
Do you ever like look into their eyes and go, gee, these people were just children at one point, and maybe they just had a tough life?
I've let a couple go.
You have. Like what happened? You're in the middle of killing them, and then they what do they say? Why would you let one go and kill the other?
There was this one.
Go ahead.
I think she was probably really new to it.
Yeah.
There was just something about her. Maybe she reminded me of my fiance, but
right. You somehow relate
more of an innocent quality.
You somehow felt bad for her.
Yeah.
See, this is such a weirdly serious conversation that they're having. It's so
Well,
not.
Yeah.
It is chilling, Nibbler. You know, some of you people are like, "Oh, look at the comments; they're all slowed down." Is it because you're fascinated by listening to this? I'm just curious because I was really fascinated by listening to somebody who potentially is an actual serial killer being on the show with him, and I find it fascinating that this. Oh, thank you, Pibble girl. Creepy but great show. Thanks, Simone Whiskers. Thank you, Pibs.
Yeah.
I just think it's really creepy to hear somebody like this, and then I have some follow-up conversations with interviews with real serial killers and how completely what's the word I'm looking for?
Detached from humanity.
Okay, yes, that. Yeah, they are. So all right, so let's just continue with this and just hear the rest of it out.
And you have a fiance, so you're planning to get married?
No.
He had one.
Oh,
you
you
say.
had one.
No. If I wouldn't be a suspect, believe me, she'd.
But let me ask you, why'd you like?
Wait,
did you
what's he
start
trying to
kill her
say
and then,
there?
you said,
Exactly.
Forget it.
Who knows? Yeah.
Or you just never
No,
even.
not even.
You just had sex. You just had sex with her and then you let her go.
I didn't even have sex with her, Howard.
Well, that's weird. Now that's weird.
I mean, you just really felt sorry for this.
I don't know what she was doing what she was doing, but.
Are you a big fat mess?
But she got off lucky.
Are you a big fat mess, or are you like a fairly good-looking guy?
I'm not a big fat mess. I wouldn't call myself good looking. I don't know what I'd call myself, Howard.
Right.
Do you have a decent job and all that stuff?
Sounds like a bright guy.
Not decent like you have.
Yeah, well, we got ridiculous.
Mackie, I just put your comment up on the screen there. There was a Teamster that I worked with in the film business that was a suspect. Tell all. We're dying to know what you're talking about. A suspect in what? In this particular spate of killings during the mid-90s? In what? We need to know all. Tell us more. I need to know this. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue on because this is really fascinating. I was wondering why all of you are so quiet in the chat, and it's because you're all listening to it. I love that this is something that a lot of us had never heard before, so I'm fascinated by the entirety of it. And I never heard back from Marianne from Melbourne in terms of Twitch. Just throwing it out there.
Jobs.
You get these.
I don't even know that I'd call this a job. You know what I mean? This is not a normal
It's a
job.
made-up job.
Yeah, this is a job that's totally useless. You know what I mean? Like nobody really needs it.
It's a scam.
To me, a job is like something like, a UPS driver is a
Yeah,
job.
it's a job.
All right. Not now. Thank you, Ed.
Maybe this is a UPS driver.
Ed laughs, but he has no job either. All right. So, this is always
But you
weird.
do work every day and stuff like that.
This is always weird, but I'm bringing, at least we can sort of get into the mind of a guy who serial kills. I think he's 100% on the level. So you killed your first woman.
When was the last time you killed?
Oh, babe.
Yes.
I think the things that were missing from that other guy's podcast who originally posted this is like a lot of this in between talk, because I don't remember a lot of this being on that guy's thing. I mean, not that it's intrinsic to the show, but
interesting little note, whether the authenticity of this phone call. Up until now, Fred back then was like really quick with the Jackie laugh when something was horribly like in the news or whatever. And up until this moment, Fred was just completely silent.
Every one of them.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because now it's normal. Back then, you couldn't go like 1 minute without hearing the fake Jackie laugh or whatever, whatever zany sound effects the Fred would play back then. And
but nothing.
Yeah, it's just like eerily silent.
It's as silent as our chat is right now.
Yeah.
But that's because everybody, I think, is so interested in it, because it is kind of fucking crazy. Hey, Bon Jovial, did you ever get anything together with Twitch? Just checking.
It's been a few months.
Right.
Actually, it's been going on a year.
So the question, if you guys missed it, was he asked how long has it been since he killed? That's where we are now.
You're like the Boston Strangler, man. Maybe I should option your story. So, what do you think you're going to do? Do you think you're going to kill yourself? Do you
Always looking for the fucking shackle, by the way.
think that you think
Are you
you'll-
going to kill again?
Can you
Oh,
stop
no,
this?
If I killed myself, I'd miss the next Batman movie.
Right. You don't want to do that.
No.
There's a fan.
So he's a little bit of like a weirdo incel. He's like comic books, Batman. I don't even believe him that he has a couple of kids. I don't even believe him that he had a fiance.
No, I think he's making some shit up. Anything that would pin him down as to who he might be, which is, I'm guessing that's what Howard's trying to do. I think he kind of gives half truth or just making some shit up.
Look at Dave and Diego. Hey, X, what do you think? What? That's our conversations every morning.
Actually, I'd actually
you
give
know,
myself
Yeah,
to miss
why
them.
would you want to savor that?
What, babe?
The joke's on him because the next Batman was a Joe Schumacher, George Clooney nipple Batman. So that in hindsight,
He should have killed himself.
If that's what he was hanging on for, then yeah, bitterly disappointed, I'm sure.
His loss of $8.52 plus popcorn.
No, but in all seriousness, I mean, do you
Exactly.
think that you could control this? Do you think you could stop?
I think I have been.
Oh, you have been for the last
Yeah,
couple of months.
A year he hasn't killed.
Oh, a year.
Yeah.
Almost.
So why do you think you stopped killing all of a sudden?
I really don't know, Howard. Part of it had to do with my car broke down.
Oh,
Yeah.
no transportation.
Seriously?
fuck is that
That's the
about?
reason?
Well, that was the reason for a month, but after that, I guess it was all self-control.
Wow. But
So you don't want to do this anymore?
no, he wants to do it, but he's controlling himself. Like you want to kill women, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And do you like it? Do you enjoy seeing them struggle as you kill them?
Actually, none of them really struggle.
So yeah, that's a curious thing. Also, the guy who was convicted, and again, I'll go back to this conversation in a moment. Apparently, what he used to do is give them a lethal mixture of drugs, and then have sex with their lifeless bodies before killing and/or dumping them. So he would
happens.
basically. So basically, he would drug them and then go off and fucking kill them. I do want to read some of these comments, but I want to play a little bit more of this. Yeah, Ted Bundy absolutely was a good-looking guy. Didn't have to stalk hookers for victims, so he probably is an ugly mess, and that drives him to kill women because they reject him unless he pays. Right, so he feels like he needs to pay in order to justify the killing. And I don't believe him for a fucking second that he didn't have a troubled childhood. I think it's a slippery slope to that, and we'll talk about Richard Ramirez in a few seconds because Xavier was telling me about him and what kind of childhood he had, and you'll just notice that the inflection in voices of all these serial killers is basically exactly the same. There is no highs, there are no lows, there's no happies. This guy didn't chuckle once. Nothing about him leans towards it being something that anybody wants to fucking joke about. All right, here we go.
Do you hit them from behind or do they see it coming?
I can't get inside their minds, but let's just say I hit them.
But, I mean, are you facing them?
Yeah.
Well, so you can see their face and everything when you do it.
Bullshit.
Yeah. The worst I've ever gotten was one tried to grab my neck. I've never gotten any of the claw marks or anything that are dead giveaways.
Right, you must be very powerful.
I wouldn't call myself powerful. Maybe intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
What?
A fucking wimp. And he's not intimidating. They're just so scared of some human being who's telling them that they're about to fucking die. So of course that's intimidating. They're trapped. Did he talk about catch and release yet or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
Why did you choose this method?
I didn't, Robin. Like I told you, I really wanted to cut things up, mail things. Then
So he basically wanted to cut off fucking fingers, finger paint with them, put that in the mail, send that off to the police, I guess, right? I mean, is that what he's saying here?
He is basically the serial killer Martha Stewart, yes.
No, she means why did you use a hammer? You think you...
Because it was in a book I read.
Oh.
Well, everything's come from
Cartoons
somebody
and...
else.
Yeah. When's the last time you got laid?
Last week, Howard.
Oh, yeah, so you didn't kill
Bullshit.
that girl.
He probably paid
She
her,
was in a
though,
hook.
by the way.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
It's only
Liar.
hookers, though.
A lot of serial killers are only into hookers because they know, A,
Easy.
probably won't get caught, and B, they have some kind of anger toward hookers. Like, did you think your mom was a hooker or something?
No, Howard.
Your parents married and stay together and the whole thing?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Church-going people?
That'll do it.
Well, one of them, but...
Yeah. Religious fanatics give birth to the most serial killers because they're so repressed.
Yeah.
So there's no way I'm going to talk you into giving yourself up or anything, right?
No.
I shouldn't even waste my time. I know I'm going to get calls after this and people are going to go, Howard, how come you didn't catch him? I'm going
Has anybody ever been close to catching you?
No.
No.
Actually, someone... Once when it was in the newspaper, someone joked to me, I know it was you, but, well, they were joking.
Right.
Yeah.
You think you might be gay?
I hope not.
Right, maybe a repressed homosexual? Were you ever molested?
No.
Do you have a lot of tattoos?
I don't have any tattoos. I wouldn't do that to myself.
Right.
And do you get high before you do this?
I've gotten...
Yeah, the reason he doesn't have any tattoos is because, God forbid, one of them gets away, and they say he has like a big fucking star on his neck.
Yeah, well, I like the fact that he thumbs a serial killer who murders women looks down on people who have tattoos. I like that whole train of thought. Like, I would never have a tattoo.
How dare you have Stairway to Heaven
How
on your
dare
leg?
you? What kind of a man do you think I am?
How you besmirch Mickey Mouse like that on your fucking calf?
Yeah.
All right, hang on, here we go.
You're killing trendy hookers, dude. It's like,
And shoving $30 up their asses. So yeah,
you ain't exactly braggy material, man.
Pretty drunk before.
Yeah.
Little anal.
Lame.
Relax that sphincter. Well, I got to say, I wish you would die, but, what can I tell you? I maybe this is sort of good that you're talking about it with me, and maybe it'll keep you under, like maybe I can't get you to turn yourself
like
in.
a valve, and he'll be able to go another year or something.
Yeah, but maybe somehow, you won't do it anymore.
What about your kids? You want them living in a world with people like you?
Hasn't really analyzed it.
Anyway, I mean...
Yeah.
Kind of lonely, though. You can't tell anybody about this.
I'm the only guy am I the only guy you ever told about this?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess that's sort of an honor.
I've told a couple of women, Howard, but...
They're dead.
Yeah. Do you tell them first and then you kill them?
Yeah.
What do you say to them? Let me... All right, let's
Every
see.
now and then you can play the running game if you're out in the middle of nowhere, and we got a lot of the middle of nowhere down here.
Right. So, in other words...
Can you imagine the absolute psychotic fucking fear? It doesn't even matter if you're a prostitute or a drug, whatever it is, but the absolute fucking fear of having a guy who wants to kill you and says to you, go ahead, get out of the car, go start on your way, knowing fully well that the motherfucker is going to catch you and fucking kill you regardless of what you do. I can't even imagine the fright, but that's what he incites. That's what he wants, right? That's the...
He never tried to mod a fucking stern for him. I get that fear every fucking day.
All right, let's finish this up so we can go on to other serial killers.
Let's say you're with a woman, right? A hooker.
Yeah, Howard.
And you say to her, okay, honey, you just had sex and everything. What do you say to her to torment her? How do you break the news to her that she's going to die?
You just tell her.
It really depends on my mood.
Just give us an example.
Well, if I wanted to, I could just say Baba Booey, but that would be pretty...
No, come on, be serious. What do you say to him?
Papa Fooey.
Did you see? This comment from welfare applicant. It puts the balloons on the...
Yeah.
It puts the balloons on the wheelchair. Or else it gets the hose again. I don't know why making me laugh so hard, but that's the funniest fucking thing ever. Oh my god, I love that. No, Super Trooper, totally not fake. I don't agree at all. I don't agree at all.
Hey, listen, people can have their week. I mean, we're
Yeah.
just listening to this, and it seems legit. I mean, people can
We
draw
think
their own.
it's legit. Yeah.
I mean, people can draw their own conclusion. That's cool. I mean, your opinion is as valid as ours. It's just that this guy really kind of matched up with shit that was going on at the time. In the
Exactly.
New Orleans area, so.
So, and we're going to read the article just as soon as we're done here, so it'll be full circle for what happened afterwards. All right.
I can say you're going to die.
And then what do they do?
I like to articulate a little more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I ask them if they think it's dangerous doing what they're doing, if they're worried about things, and they'll laugh it off, and that just pisses me off.
Right. And then you go ahead and you kill them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
Well, now we've shed no light on this. We don't know how a serial killer is made, and we don't know how to catch him.
Yeah, well, you know what? All the experts don't know either, so. Well, here's a guy, just another story. He's out there.
You know, it's just, it substantiates my theory. Did you get jealous of Cunanan? Is that why you're talking to us now?
No, actually, I was thinking about writing a musical about Andrew Cunanan, but...
Guy's a comedian, too.
Huh?
You guys are...
This is the part we didn't hear on that other one that was linked on our website, by the way.
Okay.
I don't remember hearing any of this on the full for that segment.
Yeah.
There's some psychologists on the line. You want to talk to him?
Who's on the line? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Psychiatrist.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, since you're looking for answers.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Robert?
How you doing, Howard?
Hey, man. Go ahead.
Just wondering, how long did this guy wet his bed when he was a young boy?
Are you serious, or are you just trying to make a joke?
No, I'm totally serious.
Did you wet your bed when you were a young boy?
No. Didn't do that at all. No. How about starting fires? Huh? How about starting fires? Sure. Yep.
You did start fires?
Yep.
How old were you? How old were you when you?
For people that get into serial killing to start fires, wet the bed when they're young. Along with the mutilation of little animals, but he said he didn't do that, so.
Right.
That's kind of something that was missing.
But fires was in your history, right?
You could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of, it starts off as external ways of showing off their anger, and then they move on and go on to bigger and better things, I guess.
Wonder why this guy kills. Did you have any guess?
I don't know. I think you're right on with something with his family,
Yeah,
childhood.
what's he so angry about?
Right.
You know, unfortunately, he's real angry, and he's out there hurting a lot of innocent women.
Yeah. What do I do with a guy like this? Just hang up and forget about it, or is there anything I can?
Depends on. I mean, Howard? What are you going to do? Of course, you're not going to turn him in, but.
Well, I mean, I would, but I can't. I mean,
a lot of people would want to turn him in, but what can you do? You talk to him, try and figure out what's going on.
yeah. All right. That's right. Then I'll probably just hang up. Okay.
Thanks a lot,
All right,
Howard.
thanks, man. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mr. Serial Killer.
You know, I mean,
Want to give us your name?
yeah, I mean, I know I'm not going to get him to turn himself in. I've had calls from people who go, well, why didn't you do something? I go, well, what am I supposed to do? The guy's.
Yeah. Okay. So that's basically what happened there. Just so you know, I reached out to a bunch of people about this. I texted with Stuttering John earlier and asked him if he remembered this because he was still picking up at the time in 97. He's like, no, I don't remember that at all. And then I spoke to Grillo and asked him, he's like, oh, right, I was on the phone with you, right, Dave, when he texted me back. So when I hung up with you, I called him and I said, does this ring a bell to you at all? And he said, I remember it because, okay, so subsequently, after this happened, a couple of days later, the FBI contacted Howard and wanted a recording of the tape, which is 1,000% true because after I hung up with Xavier, I called Grillo and he said, I don't remember the call, but I remember the FBI contacting us and I had to be the one to go find the clip and send it to them. He's like, so yes, that absolutely happened. And they absolutely did request it. Then I went into my group text that I have with some of the guys from the Stern Show. And one of them said, it's vaguely familiar to me, but apparently what happened after this call is that they had a meeting about it to find out what other information they could glean from either the phone call, the number it came in from, or anything like that. Did the guy mention his name? Blah, blah, blah. Because apparently the FBI had contacted them. So they did have a meeting about it afterwards to find out what was the best way to go about figuring out how to give them the most information that they possibly could. So that's basically what happened after this. Every single person that I spoke to said, yes, that absolutely happened. And absolutely, the FBI contacted them, and absolutely, they had to provide the information to them. So that's what I know about this as an afterthought to it.
Well, the guy who everybody suspects is him was arrested like within 8 months of this phone call. So who knows?
All right, so actually, let me go to that, and I'll read the article, and then we can talk about it, okay? More than 2 years after saying a string of bodies found scattered in the desolate, swampy areas of the Algiers to Gramercy was the work of a serial killer, authorities Tuesday arrested longtime suspect Russell Ellwood in 2 of the murders. An investigator said Ellwood, a former taxi driver, remains a key suspect in the deaths of at least 9 more of the 26 victims found since 1991, most of them African-American, female, and prostitutes. Jefferson Parish Sheriff Harry Lee said Tuesday as many as 4 other suspects are being investigated. We never thought this was the work of one person, Lee said. Authorities said former New Orleans police officer Victor Gant, who was initially labeled as a suspect in the killings, remains under suspicion in 2 of them. In formally charging Ellwood, 47, with the murders of Cheryl Lewis and Dolores Mack, authorities painted the accused as a deviant who liked to inject his victims with a lethal mixture of drugs and have sex with their near-lifeless bodies before dumping them. In several interviews with the Times-Picayune, Ellwood has insisted he never killed anyone, and Tuesday evening his attorney said the case against his client is flimsy. But during the news conference at St. Charles Parish Courthouse in St. Charles Parish, Sheriff Greg Champagne said authorities had ample evidence to charge Ellwood with 2 counts of second-degree murder in the February 1993 deaths of Louis 30 of Bridge City and Mac 39 of Mediary. I don't even know how. Their bodies were found a day apart in a canal off Louisiana in Hanville. Traces of drugs were found in both of their bodies. Mac, a transsexual, was strangled. Lewis was asphyxiated, authorities said. Ellwood, authorities claim, told an inmate in a Florida prison, of course it was in Florida, that he enjoyed drugging people and having sex with them before they died. According to a statement authorities released Tuesday, Ellwood said if they were high on cocaine or heroin, the heroin would put them in a state of mind as if they were paralyzed, and he could take advantage of their bodies. Ellwood told the inmate he sold drugs out of his taxi, would mix different drugs, and, quote, got off watching their eyes roll to the back of their head. He said when they wouldn't wake up and were not breathing, he would put them out of his cab. Okay, so that's that. So that's the guy that they arrested for this. And yeah, he may be the person, he may not be the person, but I think it all kind of makes sense. And as Xavier and I were talking about earlier, you know, that was like the 90s for some reason seemed to be a particularly ripe time period for serial killers. You know, like 26 of them were dead between 91 and 97, just in that parish alone. I mean, so imagine. Yeah. And I was looking up the one in Long Island, the Long Island serial killer who still has not been found. And he used to, I just dropped a grape on the floor. And he used to dump all these bodies at Gilgo Beach. And the statistic was startling. So my numbers are probably wrong, but if they found 15 bodies at this beach, like 8 of them still have not been identified because nobody has ever come to claim them or had them as missing or DNA analysis or anything. So many of these people go as just complete unknowns in the world because nobody is fucking looking for them. That's exactly right, fucking welfare applicant. You are 1,000% right. Serial killers are so 90s. Mass shooters are what's in. He's right.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember the time period, and you have like this was like 1997. You had all kinds of fucked up shit. You had like Spice Girls, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. I mean, 97 wasn't like
There was
97
no
was the
fun in
2000
games.
was the 2020 of the 90s.
It was dramatic. We all feel that pain. What else was there? It was like Friends. You had
Yeah, you had
Malcolm in the Middle.
Elvis kind of made a comeback. You had that How Bizarre song by OMC. I mean, it was a mess. It was it was so bad that Princess Diana checked out. You know?
Yes, Tiger Lily, they are catching old serial killers now one by one. But the reality is the only way you're catching okay, so there's two things we were thinking about. One, a lot of these people who, because I was saying to Xavier, why is it that so many of these go in spates? 91 to 94, 30 people died in fucking Long Island, or 94 to 97, 20 people in New Orleans. And you don't realize that some of these people were probably either arrested for something else that has nothing to do whatsoever with them killing, or like, what's his face, who just got caught with the DNA that was sent to jail.
State killer.
Right. So he just stopped, right? He just fucking stopped.
He stopped, and when he was arrested, he says, "Hang on, I have a roast in the oven." That's what he told the cops. Like, no fucking
Really?
joke. Yeah.
Wow.
When they 23andMe him, and they found his a match on 23andMe, they narrowed it down to like 8 people that were in that area, and that would have fit the age requirements for someone at that time. And they got lucky. They got lucky with him. And when they cased his house, and they waited for him to throw away, it was like chewing gum or something like that they retrieved from his trash can, and that 100% matched the DNA that they had. And when they raided his house, they raided it like straight out, and the Blues Brothers type of raid, and they knocked on his door. They got him, and he's like, "Hang on, I have a roast in the oven." That was what he told the cops. Like, that's the kind of separation that this guy had. A total sociopath.
Well, one of them I was reading, and I'm not sure who it was. I think that it was this one. They actually, so bizarre. They actually requested the pap smear of his daughter, so that
BTK killer.
Right, it was her pap smear, right? It was something like bizarre
Dennis
like
Rader.
that.
Yes, he came back after being gone for a while, started communicating with the police. He sent in a driver's license for one of the victims that he killed over a decade ago. So they knew it was him. And in the communications with the police, he asked them if they could trace a floppy disk. And the police said, "Of course not." They lied to him. And so he sent them, one of his clever little messages. But on that floppy disk was a deleted file from the church that he used the computer, which he was a participant in the Sunday get-together.
Oh, he's such a good churchgoer. Yeah.
Yeah. So the cops went in. They said, "Who the fuck used this computer?" They had a timestamp. They said, "Oh, that was Dennis Rader." So they had a suspect at that point, which they didn't have up until that point. They did a warrant for a pap smear for his daughter. I don't know how they found out that whatever, but they went through her records, and because they had DNA from semen samples from the murder still on file, and with his daughter's DNA, they pretty much all but narrowed it down that it was him. And the funny, ironic thing is, he thought the police was playing a game with him, and that there was honor amongst them because he was a fucking dog catcher at some point. So he looked at himself as an authority. So he was disappointed that the police lied to him about the disc. You believe that?
Oh, because it's like a Broad of some sort?
Yeah,
that should have been.
Exactly. They violated the bro code in his mind.
Wow.
Yeah. Bros
Yeah.
before dead hoes, right? I guess.
Okay, so I am going to now just because we were talking about how the finally we're live on Twitch. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, there we are.
Hello,
So,
everybody.
well, I don't know if they're even caught on to it yet, so we got to give them a little time to actually get there. Okay,
Hello,
so
Hey,
so
I'm looking forward to the Brisbane Olympics. Just Mr. Whiskers wants to put it out there.
what are you looking for? The Brisbane Olympics?
Yes.
I think we decided we're all going to be dead by then, so we didn't care.
No. I already booked a room at Bar Harbor. It's only about an hour away.
And you're ready for it.
Yes.
If you're still alive at that point. I don't think you're...
Mr. Whiskers has been dead many times.
Yes, I know. Yeah, we all love Mindhunter, hence the reason we're doing the show, to be quite honest with you, because I was fascinated by that phone call.
Yeah.
Fascinated. By the way, the guy who starred in Mindhunter was a huge Broadway star and a absolute flaming homosexual, which I would have never thought in a million years. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all, but the role that he played was so like, straight and serious and crazy. And when you see him in real life, he is literally fucking Rip. What was his name? Rip Torn? What was his name? What was the Hello Frisco guy?
Yeah.
Literally like that in person.
You just described Rock Hudson, by the way, but yeah.
Melvin says that's how I like my homosexuals. All right, I just want to play just a little piece of Jeffrey Dahmer, just so you can hear the inflection and the voice and what he was like at this point in time. Okay, here we go.
Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me. And as my obsession grew, I was saving body parts such as skulls and skeletons.
Jeffrey Dahmer is recalling his monstrous past. Almost 2 years ago, in this little apartment in Milwaukee, police discovered the grisly remnants of one of the most horrible crime sprees in American history. Jeffrey Dahmer, an unassuming chocolate factory worker, would eventually confess that
he's like the fucking Willy Wonka.
Apparently, I got a golden ticket.
You drank brains and blood. You get nothing. Out.
had seduced, murdered, and
Did we know he worked at a chocolate factory?
Yeah, well, he had a string of all kinds of jobs. He was even in the military for a minute. He got dishonorably discharged. The dude was a lost soul, that's for sure.
I am fascinated. I didn't even hear this clip before I fucking put it up here, but I'm dying.
Dismembered 17 young men.
17.
He even ate some of his victims' body parts.
Ooga.
He instantly became the center of worldwide media attention. Serial killer unmasked. There were protests.
Let me hear more.
An object for pleasure instead of a living, breathing human being. It seems to make it easier to do things you shouldn't do.
The reason.
Okay then. So yeah, I killed women. I ate them. They were delicious. I would like to listen a little bit to the Night Stalker as well, if I can pull that up. It's going to take me a second, but I have it queued, I think, to 53 seconds. So Ramirez,
Dahmer, Wisconsin, I think.
I don't know.
Not the worst. Not
He's
the worst thing
pale
in
enough.
Wisconsin, I'm sure.
He's pale enough to be from Wisconsin. God knows he gets no sun.
Apparently.
When you stay indoors trying to figure out how to fillet a twink, you're gonna have some sunning issues. All right, so The curious thing is that Richard Ramirez, hold on, let me cue this up to 53 seconds. Richard Ramirez, even when he's doing these interviews, never once actually during an interview would say that he's actually killed anybody. So in his mind, he was not a killer.
Psychopath?
But what he's going to do is he's going to discuss with the interviewer about what he thinks serial killers are like. So this is him talking about what serial killers are like without ever admitting that he's actually a serial killer. And then we're going to get to Mike the Murderer, which I think is the guy who you're talking about that was on the Stern Show. So hang on, here we go.
To say about serial killers.
A serial killer comes about by circumstances and like a recipe: poverty, drugs, child abuse. These things, contribute to a person, to a person's frustration and anger, and at some point in life, he explodes.
Perhaps.
So, can you tell us the story about Richard Ramirez that you told me earlier, which was super fucking creepy?
Well, who knows where this kid would have gone had he lived a normal existence.
He was on his way to college, as you know.
One of his relatives, male relatives, was a Vietnam veteran, and part of their particular habits were to cut off the heads of the local indigenous people in Vietnam, whether in fact they were Viet Cong or just Vietnamese women. He would brutalize them, cut them into pieces, and then take Polaroids, of which he shared upon his return to the United States to a very impressionable Richard Ramirez, who I believe he was under 10 years old when he showed him these Polaroids, and he would describe to him the things that he would do to these women. And little bit after that, I guess that guy had a domestic dispute with his significant other, and he shot her in the head in front of a young Richard Ramirez. I don't remember if the dude killed himself after that or he was arrested, but nonetheless, you can imagine being a kid and your uncle or whatever sharing all these horrific stories with you, and then he murders his girlfriend or wife in front of you in the kitchen. That's gotta kind of screw you up a little.
That's gotta be a little bit much for an impressionable little Ricky.
Let's just say he wasn't going to do the Wonder Years after that.
Yeah. Hey, Baba Louie. I don't know if you're a regular Baba Louie, but I do love the name. Yeah, it's perfectly okay in society to kill beautiful animals and put their heads on the wall to keep them near me as a reminder. Yes, this is why they're called trophies. These are exactly why they're called trophies. These are reminders of things that you killed and you're proud of. It's the exact same premise, except with these people, it'll be a lock of hair, a ring, as Xavier was saying before, a head, licenses that he used to. Who was the one who used to keep their licenses?
Well, several. Like the BTK killer did, Ted Bundy did, maybe even Al Bundy. I don't know. But yeah, more than one person. That's a very go-to is to keep a driver's license. What better way to remember that person?
Yeah, their face, everything about them.
Their government ID. Yeah,
exactly. I wonder if they can travel with that now. All right, so we're gonna shoot on over to Uncle Mike the Murderer, and this is another call that Howard had taken at the time, and this guy was kind of weird as well. I only have part one of this, so I apologize in advance. I do want to give credit to the person that I took this from. Well, two things. I want to give credit to, oh, fuck, did I even put their names down here? God damn it. I don't think I did, and I'm terribly sorry about that. Sorry, yes, Uncle Mike Recording is by Bruce's Best of YouTube. So thank you for posting this. I noticed that you had a part one and not a part two, but you basically get the gist of what's going on this based on this current recording. Okay, so here's Mike the Murderer, And yeah,
Not to
I
be
thought this-
confused with Mike and the Mechanics.
That's exactly right. Or I can't think too quickly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, how you
Mike
doing
Hunt.
this morning, Howard?
Okay, man.
All right.
Mike is one.
Okay, weirdly enough, for some reason, this is not coming on my speaker. So
I can hear it fine.
You can.
I
Okay,
can.
awesome. All right, here we go.
See?
To announce to the world that he is a murderer. He's been living ever since he's gotten out of prison. He's been hiding it from his neighbors. He got a legitimate job.
Right.
But now he wants to come out of the closet, so to speak, not as a gay man, but as a murderer. Is that
does
right?
he think this is a good idea?
Well, you're getting close there, Howard. And Robin, I can already hear the concern in your voice. So let me just tell you what I got going on in my life.
Well, let me tell everyone what you did. When he was 16 years old, he gets into he hijacks a taxi cab.
All right.
He forces the driver to take him across 3 states. At one point, they pull over to a rest stop, and Mike ordered the driver out of the car. And by the way, why did you hijack a cab? By the way,
it wasn't a cab. It was the little airport shuttle station wagon that shot back and forth between KC International.
He's kind of like Shuley, except he kills people. Is basically what we're talking about right now.
Here's another little note before you hit play again. Both this phone call and the other phone call we just listened to all occurred within a matter of weeks from each other. So you have Howard Stern doing his show for a couple of decades at this point, and nothing like this even remotely happens. Then in a span of a couple of weeks, you get a couple of murderers calling in and just to shoot the shit with Howard.
Maybe at that point, though, maybe he said, you know what? I'm kind of digging that these kind of guys are calling. So if we get another one, let's put it through. You know what I mean? Like before that, maybe other people called and said, yeah, I killed the guy. I wanted to tell Howard about it. You know what I mean? Like at what point does he say, hey, this is like a working profile for us. Let's try and do it again. Slapdash is saying, Monique, remember the serial rapist that was a super fan that kept journals about Howard in the 90s? Does anybody recall this that Slapdash is talking about right now?
John Hine?
I do not. Yeah, right. JD? I do not. I do not
Just
remember
kidding.
that. And if you can give us a little bit more detail on that, I'd be interested in hearing it. Hey, G Canada, here we go. Now we'll get on telling the story. Can't let anyone else talk. Yeah, of course, that's the way it works. You know how it works. All right, let's continue with Uncle Mike the murderer. Here we go.
And the hotel itself.
yeah. Okay, so why did you hijack that thing?
In a nutshell, I panicked, and that was the only way I saw getting out at the time.
Getting out of the airport?
No, you're just getting out of the jam that I put myself.
What was the jam?
What was the jam? Yeah.
What was the jam? I was down in Kansas City, basically trying to steal some cars, and things were going miserably wrong. I had absolutely no business being even attempting to try to steal a car, and just got into this kind of lifestyle where I was always pushing the limits. And
so he hijacks this car for some reason because he couldn't. I don't know.
This guy sounds like he's about to say, "Hey, Richard, I'm down here at Taco Tico's." He sounds like freaking Richard's dad.
Yeah, it's so weird. I tried to look into, I did a deep dive after this, which I'll tell you about as soon as the call's pretty long, so we'll cut it up a little bit more too.
Yeah, cut it.
Yeah, but as the guy continues on, he talks. He's like, "Hey, can I promote my website?" Like literally, he says to us, "Okay, I killed a guy, but wait to hear how he killed him. A fucking 16-year-old
guy." Okay, I don't fully understand that. Then he stabbed the driver 17 times,
17 times,
5 times, and left him in a ditch to die.
Why?
Why'd you kill him?
Why'd I kill him? So that he couldn't identify me.
Oh, you're a real bad guy.
Was that the first time you'd killed someone?
Yes, it is.
So then he later.
How was that? No.
Yeah, I mean, like it seems to me you were even angry with the guy. I mean, you slashed his throat 5 times. You stabbed him 17 times. It's like you were.
Were you on something?
No, I actually was not. But Howard hit it right there.
Were you angry with your dad or your mom or something?
It's just I was angry. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see any of the background info, et cetera, et cetera.
No, but what did you were you raped as a kid? Did something traumatic?
Okay, so this is your classic example of somebody who called in. They took down all his information. They probably like went into like a deep dive on who he is and what he does. Hence the reason the guy says, "Did you read any of my background information?" So plan fucking call.
Nice to know
With
that
Mike the Murderer.
he had the good thing he filled out that murder LinkedIn.
Exactly.
So that they could,
Good thing he filled out that murder 1099 so that he could get paid for this fucking call. Really? What the fuck? You know what? It never really dawned on me that even in the 90s he was doing this shit. You know? I mean, other than Electric Eel. And yeah, the cat killer thing, we can go back to that at some point. So I was supposed to have Harry Enton on from Electric Eel, but mysteriously enough, he chose not to tell me that he was flying to Hawaii today when we were supposed to have a conversation sometime during the mid-afternoon. Bastard.
Panic happened to you? Did your parents do something to you?
No, I mean, came from pretty much mom and dad got divorced when I was 2. Me and the sis got to stick with mom. Dad pretty much
abandoned us, of
So maybe
course.
you were really killing your dad, like you were so angry or something.
Well, one of the things, and this is going to shock probably a lot of people, and a lot of people aren't ready to hear this, but I've got my own reasons. Basically, in a nutshell, I want to see if I can help some way, shape, or form, having come from this background and having kind of lived it full cycle now.
Yeah, but he was 16. He was a baby. You know, we all make mistakes at that age.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you all about. I told you all about.
I can relate. I can relate. I think I left the Playboy channel on by accident one day when I turned off the TV. My mom was really upset, so I can relate.
Yeah, well, if you paid for the Playboy channel, I would agree.
Oh no,
with you there.
it was.
But if you're just looking at a bunch of wavy fucking lines on channel 68,
once in a while you can see an eyeball, half a
little
butt cheek.
little titty nipple.
Exactly.
You almost sound like the fucking play caller right now.
we all know the plight of 16-year-olds.
14-year-olds. Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah. There you
We
go.
all know the plight of 22-year-olds.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, you got caught by the cops because you pull into a gas station after you kill this guy and there's blood all over you, and the attendant calls the cops.
That's correct.
Hold on, I don't want to forget about this in the chats. Let me go back a little bit. Slapdash, who just talked about the serial rapist, Howard reads more of the Cleveland Rapist Journal. 5/30/97, 925. Some serial rapist out in Cleveland was keeping a very detailed journal on his computer. He recently killed himself, so the police found his diary. It contains close to 400 entries just about Howard's show. And the guy was a fucking serial rapist. I would love to get into that. I'm sorry I don't know anything about it, but thank you for sharing that. And maybe at some point we can come back to that and talk about it.
Wow,
Melvin,
he was like a regular rapes friggin', wasn't he?
Who, Slapdash? Well, it makes sense. I mean,
No, this dude. He was basically ripping off Mark Friggin, but with rape.
Mark
notes.
Spankin. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mark
I
raping.
masturbated to scrambled cable ass, only to find out later it was a guy.
Fag.
You know what? You didn't know at the time.
Homo.
Listen, ass crack was ass crack. You had no idea. You had no idea if it was like a guy or a guy's ass crack at the time.
Well, you could, because back then there was only like 2
They
male
had hair.
porn stars.
They had hair too.
It was like the same dudes in every freaking movie.
Oh, where's our friend? Where's our porn friend this week? What was his name?
Oh, Peter North.
Peter, where are you? We want you
Peter
back
North.
here.
If you could extrapolate about why there was only two dudes working in the industry back in the 90s, we would greatly appreciate it.
They were just very fluffer friendly. That's what it is. You know, that's pre-Viagra. So to keep it up, that must have taken a Herculean task. I can't even fucking imagine. How much fluffing would you need back in the 90s to, I mean, and some of these were like full movies. They were movies.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like 3-minute clips on fucking YouPorn.
They
Was like
they
a
had plots.
plots. They had music.
Oh, horrible. Yeah, I know they scored them and everything.
They did things on set. They also did things like in the street. They had what am I looking for? On location.
Yeah, exactly. They had like production value and shit.
All right, let's finish with Mike.
They put you on trial, and they put you. Why do they charge you with second-degree murder? Like, why not first-degree murder?
Originally, it was first degree. I was 16 years old at the time. This is in Nebraska.
Hey, Richard.
The governor at the time was
16 must be a popular murder 101 starter set.
It's like the murderer's formative years.
Anyone under the age of 18 could not be eligible for the death sentence in the state of Nebraska.
It is pretty amazing to me that you're even out of jail, Mike, because
that's a pretty vicious crime.
I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I'm here to take my licks.
Do you think you're reformed? Do you think you're reformed, though? Do you think that?
I think that I'm going to always be dealing with it.
Right.
Always.
But do you think you want to kill? Do you think you ever want to kill again?
No, I don't. I would never.
Ooh, that's a relief.
Cause the destruction that I've already caused, brought into this world once, not only for my own family.
Did the cab driver? Did the driver?
But for the victim's family, he had 3 children.
Fuck you,
asshole.
Moving on.
You got a good job. Your boss. How do you keep going to prison from your boss? How did you manage to get out of that?
Well, basically, for the most part, when I
there's a lot of companies out there that will hire former prisoners. I think I've told this story before, but one of my very first boyfriends, this boy whose name I will not give up, he we dated when I was like 14, 15, 16ish. And one time when he was like 18 or 19, he was out at a nightclub in Long Island, and he got into a fight with some guy about some girl. And he went to his car very, very calmly, went to his car, got a bat out of his car. And when the guy was waited for him. And when the guy came out of the club, just Louisville sluggered him right in the fucking skull. And it happens, but he drove off with his friends. The guy went to the hospital. He wound up dying. Turns out that his father was the head sheriff of the fucking county.
No!
And and this boy, just a great fucking friend. This boy went to jail. And in hindsight, he was absolutely the fucking kid who would throw firecrackers at cats or fucking strangle. Like, he was that kid. He was absolutely that kid. And so he spent 15, 16 years in jail. And there are programs, mostly in construction, for people who will take on prisoners, regardless of what they did in their past lives. Most of them will think, okay, 16, 17, 18, he didn't really mean it, but he fucking meant it. He meant to kill this kid. And so they will take them in, they'll hire them, and they will, expunge their, you're just another guy working on the fucking job.
Howard had to get stuff somehow.
Exactly.
I was always subcontracting.
Right.
And now I just don't discuss it. I mean, I fall through the cracks like most people. And matter of fact, there's a gentleman over here right now, and we were discussing that point. How in the world did I fall through the cracks?
All right, let me ask you, the guy had 3 kids. Now that you're making some dough, did you do anything for his kids?
Yes, I've tried. I've been back to the city, Platte City, Missouri, twice now. I've spoke with the sheriff. I've went searched the grave records, et cetera, et cetera. I cannot locate the family.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, while I was in Nebraska, Nebraska has a program that allows inmates and the victims' families to, if both groups want to get together and try to resolve some issues, they try to facilitate that.
So you try to donate some money to them.
All right, blah, 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 blah. Mike the murderer. Blah, 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 blah.
I thought I was that.
Did you beat him up or anything?
Blah, blah, blah.
Something genetically wrong with you to make you a murderer?
Not so much genetically. I think that
Blah, blah, blah,
I had that on for the last.
blah, blah, blah.
On someone?
Don't wreck your life.
Blah, blah, blah.
One of the questions I think Robin threw out there early on was, how did I feel afterwards?
You felt good, didn't you, fucking Uncle Mike?
This is a hard truth, but it's the truth. It was the most
exciting
relieved I had felt in my life.
I bet you that guy fucking jerked off to that murder 1,000,000 times.
Sounds like it.
1,000,000
Sounds like it.
fucking times. But the tail end of this fucking story, because I really hate Uncle Mike. I don't want to even talk about him anymore. But the tail end to that story is at the end of the conversation. He tells Howard that he's starting a new career, ready, as a comedian. And he wanted to promote his website, which you have to go onto the Wayback Machine to find it. But I think it was called unclemike.us or something like that. Because I guess all the other .com, .orgs, .everything were taken at the time. But yeah, and he was a comedian. And I guess his whole point of view was he very much admits that he killed somebody. Somebody was just saying in the comments here that when you kill somebody at 16, you're juvie, so your record is probably expunged at some point. A record was sealed then. So I guess that's the case with Uncle Mikey. Yeah, good to know. Good to know this will never happen again. Yeah. Oh, maybe you could join the Killers of Comedy.
and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Shuli joined the Howard Stern show.
Exactly. So now you know. All right, the last thing I was going to play was a little bit of Ted Bundy, but I don't think
creepy.
I don't think I put the
sound clip.
No. It's like a 16-minute clip, but I don't think I put the marker in for what I really wanted to.
Ted Bundy was.
This is actually a really good fucking clip. Actually, this is a rare clip of Ted Bundy talking about how he murdered this really pretty 18-year-old chick. I'm not even sure what the circumstances were because.
Was it the chick that was going to Spanish class the next day?
I guess she wasn't, but I don't know. Gay?
No. One of his victims, he talks about how she was lucid after he pretty much killed her. And she wasn't
how's that
concerned
work?
about dying. Listen, I don't know. She was clearly wasn't dead. And her biggest concern, and which really kind of blew him away, wasn't that the fact that she was about to die, was she was worried about she had a really big Spanish test the next day. She was worried about not being able to.
Was it pass or fail?
Yeah, clearly, right? Listen, I'm sure you guys can Google that and get
interviews. Some of the worst come from conversations with killers. So, from the woman who shot her own children.
Oh, God damn it!
Yeah, that's definitely not queued up.
It is definitely not queued up. So why don't you chat with the people just for a few seconds while I figure out where on this clip the
chat. What? Huh? What?
Come on. Come on,
sure.
Fred and Robin. Take this on. And
I'm getting verklempt.
Hey, boys and girls. How's everybody doing?
I can look at my history. I can find this. Hang on a second. Oh my God. I had it. I swear to God, you guys. I really did.
It's all good. I mean, there's like a million Ted Bundy clips on the internet.
No. But this is a specifically good Ted Bundy clip, and I have it already queued. Well, not queued, but ready to go.
Well,
so,
you know he blamed porn for all his shenanigans, right?
Well, why? What was his story? What was his reason? What was
he
his
said
history?
that deviant porn is the reason why he went from a jolly, jovial gentleman to a serial killer in the greater Washington state area. And this is, keep in mind, he started confessing to all kinds of crap while he was waiting to be sat down at in the Florida electric chair, and so he was spilling his guts, trying to literally buy himself days and weeks until he was eventually fried. So he was, yeah, he would invite specific reporters, and they actually even Netflix did a whole thing on it on the Ted Bundy tapes. But those were the origins of those Ted Bundy tapes. But he was just trying to stall for more time before before he was killed. And yeah, so bye Bundy.
Oh, that's all you got for us?
No. I mean, what do you want to know? Well, he escaped prison several times, and while he was on the lam, he ended up in Florida. Keep in mind that the majority of his murders were in the Washington, Colorado areas. He had pretty much escaped, but rather than lay low, he decided to murder a whole sorority in Florida, and then he killed a 12-year-old girl. So like the dude literally had no impulse control. Like you think, okay, I'm on the other side of the country, I should just lay low, and no, the dude just, he was a man of his craft apparently.
So how many people did Ted Bundy kill? Actually,
nobody knows. Nobody knows because he was still giving up names as literally like within 24 hours of being executed. He was still giving up names, and so like a bunch of people that they never linked him to, he was giving names and descriptions and everything. So his lawyer was saying, "Hey, give this guy another couple of weeks so he can give some of these families some closure." And they say, "You know what? Enough. To the chair. Goodbye. See you later, dickhead."
So was he one of the ones who actually just killed people and didn't bury the bodies, or did he actually bury bodies?
Well, like for example, when he killed that sorority, he just left them in their rooms. He wasn't really concerned with. But then he had other victims where he would scatter the pieces. He cut up the bodies into pieces and scatter them all over the place. And there was times where he would do that. Then a year later, he found out that they were going to build a freeway in that area. So he was like, "Oh shit!" So he had to go back and find all the pieces. But that's how smart he was. He would remember exactly where all the pieces were. And like if you listen to the Bundy tapes, he whispers to the journalist talking to him, not knowing that it doesn't make any difference, but it makes it super creepy to listen to those tapes because he's like, "If you go 100 yards up past the pine tree, you'll find that."
Oh, you're creeping me out a little bit.
He'll do that, and it's like, it's like I said, it's all over YouTube. So you could easily hear that, but it just makes it even creepier that he had total recall when it came to who he killed and how he killed and where he put him.
Jesus Christ. All right, I found the tape, so I'm going to cue it up right this second because I think I have it. I thought I only recorded it right from the from where it started. All right, I got it. So 12:35. All right, here we go.
Do this.
Yeah, I'm almost done. Hang with us, guys. Almost done, my friends. All right, let me scroll it on up. Hopefully I'm on the right spot. 12:30. Can you hear it?
Arguably the most infamous serial killer of all time. You've likely seen most of Ted Bundy's interviews. However, there is one very rare and disturbing recording that few have heard. In it, Bundy describes the murder of 18-year-old student George N. Hawkins.
I was moving up the alley using a briefcase.
By the way, he sounds like every single guy on The Bachelorette. Just gonna tell you. He did vocal fry before it was even fucking popular.
A quick note before you press play, and I'm sure most of you guys know this if you're still here with us, is what he is about to describe is the actual scene that was later duplicated. Well, there was a scene in Silence of the Lambs where Buffalo Bill is trying to get into his van, and he has a cast on, and that's how he gets his victim inside the van. That was inspired by what you're about to hear.
And some crutches. And a young woman walked down. And about halfway down the block, I encountered her and asked her to help me carry the briefcase, which she did, and we walked back up the alley. Basically, when we reached the car, what happened was I knocked her unconscious with the crowbar, and I handcuffed her and put her in the passenger side of the car and drove away. One of the things that makes it among the things that makes it difficult is that at this point she was quite lucid, talking about things. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's odd the kinds of things people say under those circumstances. She had a Spanish test the next day, and she thought that I had.
All right, you're super fucking creepy because I didn't even tell you what audio I was downloading, and you exactly knew that this is the fucking tape that I was going to be playing. Why is that?
Monique, play the audio of the really creepy murder.
You scare me sometimes. Not gonna lie.
¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué pasa?
Taken her to help tutor me for a Spanish test. It's kind of odd. The long and short of it was that I again knocked her unconscious and strangled her. Can you hear that? The Hawkins girl's head was severed and taken up the road about.
What the fuck? That wasn't you, Xavier, right?
No, it wasn't. You can tell the little squigglies around Mr. Whisker's face. Oh, when I talk.
This is so creepy. I have to rewind a little bit because I wasn't really prepared for it to be this fucking creepy.
She had a Spanish test the next day, and she thought that I had taken her to help tutor me for a Spanish test. It's kind of odd. The long and short of it was that I again knocked her unconscious and strangled her. Can you hear that? The Hawkins girl's head was severed and taken up the road about 25 to 50 yards and buried in a location about 10 yards west of the road on a rocky hillside. By this time, it was almost dawn, but on this particular morning, I was just absolutely, again, just shocked, kind of scared to death, shocked, horrified about, and I went down the road, throwing the briefcase, the crutches, the rope, the clothes, just tossing them out the window, and the crowbar, everything, the handcuffs, everything. I'd get mad at myself a few weeks later because I'd have to go out and buy another pair. I mean, it's not comical, but that's what would happen. This was just, I was in a sheer state of panic, of just absolute horror, you know. It's like...
What's the worst ASMR tape ever? Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. That is absolutely fucking delicious. Absolutely fucking perfection. All right, let's just finish this.
At that point in time, was consciousness of what has really happened. It's like you break.
Hello?
I think our host
was there.
Oh, there we go. You froze for a second.
So I went back. This is the next day. Got on my bicycle, rode back to that little parking lot. I knew there were police all over the place by that time. So I went back to that parking lot and I found both the pierced earrings and the shoe laying in the parking lot.
Shoe betcha.
I surreptitiously gathered them up and rode off.
Fuck.
And the reason he's whispering because he's in one of those like rooms where you can, if you're in prison, where you can talk to like a family member or journalist. So he's already been convicted of all these heinous acts, and the only reason he's whispering, he doesn't want to, like, I guess, people to look down on him for some of the shit that he did, even though everybody knows that he did it. So that's how vain he was. He thinks that he was still fooling people at that point.
Well, but he kind of was. Like, if he still
Not at this
thought
point. Not at this point. He was, they had him dead to rights at this point.
Yeah, but wasn't he still trying to give away information about where?
Yeah.
So did he bury bodies? Because it was so weird to me that he killed all those girls in that.
Have you ever been up to the Washington State and Oregon?
Well, yeah.
It's very foresty.
Yeah,
so
that's
you don't
true.
necessarily have. And back then, I mean, you talk about urban, like the whole, that suburbia madness. It was just about to happen. So there was still plenty of open virgin land where you could literally go dump a body, and they probably weren't going to be found for a long time. So I'm guessing that he used that as a means of disposing of people.
But yet he would, in some cases, just leave them all just murdered.
Well, the ones I know that for sure, that's when he had already escaped from prison. So he was on the lam when he left, when that sorority, there's a Filipino sorority or something like that. And
Filipino?
A Filipino. He butchered them, and he just left them where they fell.
Salacious Burn says, just tuned in, and I thought it was Arm doing his Johnny Depp.
Hey, John.
Wait, somebody else had something. Tiger Lily says, oh my God, Tiger Lily and I had one of the funniest fucking laughs today that I can't even begin to tell you how much I was fucking crying, and nor can I even explain it to you, our podcast people. It's just so fucking stupid. All right, Tiger Lily says, Bundy got a chick pregnant from prison. His daughter Rose is out there somewhere knowing all of this. Yeah, but let's be honest. Rose can't be all there. I mean, Rose can't be right in the fucking head.
I think, what? I don't know if she did an interview or there was a book or something. Her dad's except for the fact that he was a psychopath, he was a pretty smart guy. In fact, when he was convicted, the first time he was really officially convicted, the freaking judge acknowledged the fact that he was a really good lawyer. And he said something to the tune of, wow, I would have sure loved to have you practice under me, but somewhere along the line, you took a wrong turn, partner. So it's like, she has the DNA of being a very intelligent person. And it wasn't hopefully she didn't have the same complex that he did. And the whole narcissism, low self-esteem, your mom is really your aunt or whatever. No, his sister turned out to be his mom. I think that was one of the big turning points for him. So
How old was he? How old was he when he was arrested? Do you know?
Anybody? In his 20s at that point.
No, he had to be older than that, I think, when he finally got arrested.
Yeah, well, at least. Yeah. In fact, one of the reasons he was arrested, well, the reason I think he was initially arrested is one of the girls he tried to do the fake injury scam with got nervous and fought him off. And something happened where she slipped and jumped out of the car and ran for it and made it. She gave the police a description. And that's kind of, after that, there was an APV out for a Volkswagen Bug and whatnot. And so one night, a beat cop was doing his patrol and he noticed a Bug matching that description, just kind of driving around, I think, with the headlights off and everything. He was just kind of creepy. And so the cop pulled him over. He went to check his trunk and he had a rape kit in there, with the nylon rope, the ski mat, the mask on, all this stuff that he used. And so when he went to go arrest him, Bundy attacked him. He actually went for his gun. But the cop overpowered him and arrested him, and that's how they pretty much busted him. So
You see what Tiger says here? Yeah, but the mother to this child that's out there was also born to a psycho mom who would be with Bundy behind a
Jesus.
Coke machine in jail. She had no
well,
chance.
at least it wasn't Pepsi or worse, RC Cola.
Mr. Pibbs.
Mr. Pibbs, Dr. Pibbs. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody so true, Linda Ayers. Somebody needs to find that daughter, find out everything they could about. I would imagine she would have written a book at this point in time.
Yeah.
I do want to also point out that there are actually other
Well, the
mentions.
BTK's daughter wrote a book, I'm pretty sure. So
The Pap
it
Smear Girl?
happens. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think there were other times though on the Howard Stern show where really kind of random killer type people have called in, and one of the most famous ones is really, what was that mafia guy's name who used to call in all the time?
Johnny Fraudo, and then you had Henry
No,
Hill.
not Johnny Friday, Henry Hill, who always, confirmed that he murdered several people.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me that back then, Howard would consider these people kind of like peripheral whackpackers. Exactly.
Yeah.
And these were people that he had some sort of interest in. Like in today's society, he would never put somebody on air who
And then ironically enough, he has Harvey Weinstein on, freaking serial rapist, and he calls him a god. Like, oh, there's God. Oh, God. Hey, God. Hey, God. It's like,
yeah, we came up with a great premise for a new show. Actually, we're going to do a show which is like,
the many touchy friends of Howard Stern.
Right, the Me Too friends of Howard Stern. Because there's so many of them. It's so amazing that 6 degrees of separation between him and pretty much every single fucking degenerate.
Matt Lauer.
Yes. All of
Harvey
them.
Weinstein.
Melvin tells us, by the way, just to put a little cap on Ted Bundy, he was executed at 42. So
bye.
I don't know how long he was in jail before that happened, but I was actually just curious about when it was. By the way, Robin has come out as gay. That's not true, but I would think that that's correct. I didn't hear anything about that, and you would have heard.
That's like the Queen Mary coming out of the boat. Who freaking didn't know? Come on. Really? Oh my God. No way. Oh my God. Everybody's refreshing Richard Simmons' Twitter account right now, just hoping that diamond comes through.
George Takei may have been like the person that she came out to.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know, Ted Bundy was 29 during his first arrest and trial.
Late 20s. There you go. He was 29 years old.
Salacious Brent says, not sure if you guys talked about it yet. No, I'm sure we didn't. But remember Lee, the guy who called into the show and said he killed his girlfriend Deborah and cut her head off. Do we remember this? I would love to have it. Yeah, I would love to have
Then you had that one dude with the daughter that he claimed died, and then he was kept keeping her alive by intubing her with wax or something like that. And then he actually came to studio, and it was like a styrofoam head or something like that. So
but I think that was like set up by, I think that's one of those ones that was set up by Electric Eel. Like, yeah, I think some of the most outrageous ones. Yeah, I think some of the most outrageous ones were that.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Listen, I'm talking on my ass right now. I'm not really sure. Oh, that's Callista. That's what Radio Gaga says. That's right. It was Callista. So scary. It's so scary, the things that you remember. What Lee was Cabby? What are we talking about here? I think I've lost ourselves in the thread here.
That's Lee Morzek or whatever.
That's Cabby, yeah. Yeah, we're going to be wrapping this show up at precisely 2 hours. So if there's anything else that we want to talk about at this moment, let's do it right now. Yeah, so any of you who are on here on YouTube, which is the majority of you, and just FYI, G Canada is pretty much the only one on Twitch right now because we started the show late on there because they obviously didn't. What are you whispering?
Mr. Whiskers buried that turd in the kitty litter.
Even when you're talking slow and low, I still have no idea what the fuck you're saying most of the time. Just so you know.
The kitty litter can be found 100 yards. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our broadcasting evening.
All right.
This is
Okay.
literally every day of my life, just so you guys know.
All right, just so you know, yeah, this is pretty much a discussion between Xavier and I every single day. We'll talk, and then he'll like switch into whiskers about a song or something, and then we'll eventually wind up playing some stupid random something on YouTube. I don't know. It's just
But mostly just talk shit about Tiger Lily. By the way, happy birthday, Gary Puppet, belated.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday.
Hopefully you had a really good time doing whatever you did.
We pretty much would have all chipped in to get you laid, just not going to lie. I think all of us are on the same page when it comes to that. And I almost feel like you almost were there with convincing Princess Kitty to come down and at least, flash you her tits or something. I think we lost him anyway. Salacious Burn says, Lee called him from jail. I have the audio.
You missed that. You missed Bon Jovi. Just asked a question. He wanted to know if Mr. Whiskers is going to sing. You know what, Bon Jovi, I'm going to wait till at my hotel at Golden Coast for the Olympics in Brisbane. Just waiting for that beautiful moment to come.
Baby, you can sing us a song. You do it all the fucking time. Oh my God, Goodbye Horses. Do you know that song? You know what?
No, I don't. Thank God.
Okay, by the way, I will tell you that although John happens to know amazing 70s and early 80s songs, I one time on the phone with Xavier read him the names of like 50 fucking songs. Do you remember this? I named 50 songs and he sang at least 5 verses to every single one of them right off the top of his fucking head. This is the guy you want to drive cross country with. Not gonna lie. Ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to bang that. So yeah. So do you want to sing us a little song? What do you got for us?
I don't know. Should we go back to 1997?
You can take it, Lily.
Quit playing games with my heart. In my heart. Shake it to the left, it's on the left side. Shake it to the right, it's on the left side.
Tagalo says, you guys talk exactly how my brain works. Scattered and distracted by shiny objects. We know that. That's why we love you. Don't you get it? Don't you get that? That's why we love you. You silly, silly, silly girl. All right. I guess we're gonna wrap it up then.
Goodbye, Norma Jean. Though I never knew you at all, you have the strength to wrap yourself and nose around me. Goodbye.
Okay, we should wrap this shit up.
Hey, thanks for doing this with me tonight. I appreciate you taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedule to do a show with me for 2 hours. This is like
I could be watching
miraculous.
that Field of Dreams on Fox right now, but no.
You know what? I don't think I've ever known a movie to make more men cry than Field of Dreams. Seriously.
Really?
Yes.
What was there to cry about? Shoeless Joe Jackson's being played by Ray Liotta. He comes back.
What's wrong with you at the end of the movie where he says, do you want to play, the dad and the whole thing with the, do you want to play?
Oh, that's right. His dad comes back from the dead.
Come on.
No, sorry.
Mr. Whiskers, don't play that game.
Oh my God, we need a Xavier and Fishy Sausage Work podcast. That would be kind of amazing if they ever wanted to work again.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I could end careers right now.
Exactly. Wait another 20 years until they're like fully
Yeah,
retired.
exactly.
Then maybe I'll have that.
Exactly.
We can't even get fucking Tim Sabian on here to talk shit about Howard after 20 years. And you want Xavier to talk shit about his
Because
fucking.
he's a smart man.
He is a very, 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 very smart man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for participating with us tonight. This was one of those really weird shows where I think
I think there needs to be a part 2 for Halloween around the Halloween time.
Oh my God, let's do a part 2 for Halloween, but let's
And
do
tomorrow's
like
Friday
just
the 13th. We should have done it Friday the 13th, but whatever. Just
Yeah,
say it
but
tomorrow. It'll work.
I know. All right. I thought it was really interesting though that the chat was so quiet because people were fascinated by listening to that dude. And I'd love to know in the chat section whether or not you think that it was a real audio or that it was faked by anyone. We do not have any Stern show scoop. I did ask the boys if anybody had heard from Artie. Everybody said no. So I'm not going to be faux norm and put that in my fucking description for what the show is because we have no information other than what you guys know. I don't know about any firings, but I did try to call a couple people today and nobody talked back to me except for Grillo and Melendez. I'm going to try and do a Melendez show at some point in the near future too. We
Quick
just have to figure out
update.
timing.
Chuli's last podcast just broke 20 listeners. So
Woohoo!
congratulations. Shalom.
Yeah,
Shalom,
shalom
Julie.
biatches. Just so you know, Xavier is actually on his cell phone on headphones, so I cut him some slack. So yeah, that's it.
Sorry. Some of us don't have like the money for the really nice equipment. Some of us have to sell blood.
Okay. Nobody believes you, just so you know. So that's it.
Hang on. I'm
Wait, is this true? Brent has COVID?
Trust me, that's the least offensive thing he's caught this year.
That will require so much less penicillin.
Mo, my hip just caught COVID. Hello? Uh-oh. I think we froze again. Anyway, thank you everybody who tuned in. Oh, there you are.
I'm circling. Sorry.
Yes, it's okay.
What'd you say?
I said something like HIV catching COVID. It's all good.
Yeah, we don't care. Honestly.
Don't care.
It's herpes simplex 12.
Exactly. Paging Victor Wieland. I need to talk to Victor Wieland.
Who?
You know, Beverly Hills Cop. Remember when Eddie pretended he was a gay guy that had to tell the cop that he had herpes simplex number 12? That was
I only saw it.
That was a reference that you just saw. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for participating tonight. I'm sorry, Twitch people, that we weren't on for you for a little while, but for some reason they didn't like us saying serial killer.
Yes.
So it had to be changed, and yeah, that's why it is what it is. But I will upload the fullness of this video on Twitch probably tomorrow because it's already 10:40.
And then people will be like, "You misspelled stereo."
Whatever.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Go.
Yeah.
Talk to you later, guys.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys. Love you too. Bye.